Good morning for the audience of this presentation. For this occasion, we would like to present about why Indonesian non-procedural migrant workers should be prevented. We are from Group 4, that is consists of Josia Eka, Khotma Rubah, Lutfia, and Noval Asari. This presentation will be divided into 4 points. That is, the first point will be explained by me. The second point will be explained by Khotma. The third point will be explained by Lutfia, and the last point, and also the summary, will be explained by Noval Asari. What is non-procedural migrant worker means? It is every Indonesian citizens that is working abroad and receiving paycheck or revenues outside the Indonesian Republic.
And why do so many people choose to become Indonesian migrant workers? It's because economic reason and low strata of education in Indonesia. So they cannot get a job in Indonesia. And of course, work abroad get a bigger salary than work in Indonesia.
And the last, why should non-procedural migrant workers be prevented? Non-procedural migrant workers must be prevented because many negative things will be explained by them.
The first reasons why non-procedural Indonesian migrant workers should be prevented. During 2019 and 2020, there are approximately 380,000 Indonesian migrant workers sent by Indonesia based on BP2MI, governmental organization that's responsible for Indonesian migrant worker protection. In the same paper that they have been released, there are more than 11,000 reports recorded by Crisis Center. And there is also an official statement that 11,000 reports, there is also official statement that 800 migrants sent back to Indonesia lifeless and another 400 are injured and disabled because of physical abuse conducted by the employer. As a country that respects the existence of human rights, we know that this data can be inferred whether this is the oversight of Indonesian government or the fault of the employer itself. We already have legal standing about migrant workers. There is law number 18 of 2017 about Indonesian migrant worker protection. In the article number 3, there are reasons stated to protect Indonesian migrant worker. One of the reason that is to guarantee and the enforcement of human rights as a worker or as an Indonesian citizen. Non-procedural workers cannot be guaranteed by Indonesian government. Indonesian government has already tried to encourage migrant worker candidates to follow legal procedures required by our government. The violations that frequently happen are unbalanced paycheck, physical abuse, one-sided work termination, or even rape and murder. And it is our work to decrease and suppress the number of non-procedural migrant workers in order to always protect Indonesian citizens' human rights anywhere.
And second reason, non-procedural Indonesian migrant workers must be prevented because from the government side, their existence can reduce state foreign exchange and government revenues. All this time, we know that Indonesian migrant workers have the nickname or known as foreign exchange hero of the country. And according to the data from the Indonesian Migrant Workers Protection Agency or BP2MI, in 20 and 2021, Indonesian migrant workers contributed about 157 trillion rupiah in state foreign exchange. And currently, there are more than 3 million Indonesian migrant workers who have registered at computerized system of protection of Indonesian migrant workers. And based on data from the Indonesia Migrant Workers Protection Agency, there are about more than 5 million illegal or non-procedural Indonesian migrant workers spread across many countries. In 2020, 67% of the 1,700 complaints received by BP2MI came from Indonesian migrant workers that were sent illegally. BP2MI has calculated the country potential foreign exchange loss of nearly 62 trillion rupiah. For the example, in the East Java area of labor service and protection, The Department of Manpower and Transmigration recorded as many as 7,200 who were repatriated due to non-procedural. And of course, the country's foreign actions has an important role to maintain the stability of the Indonesian economy. As we know, the country's foreign exchange is useful for the means of payment of export and import, pay the installment of foreign debt along with interest, and as a source of a state income for the development of the country. So we can just imagine how many laws and obstacles the government in doing state development if more and more Indonesian migrant workers choose to work not according to procedure. And the third reason will continue by my friend Lutfia, please.
And another reason why non-procedural Indonesian workers must be prevented is that there is no guarantee for perpetrators, such as the safety of the perpetrators while in the destination country, minimum salary or wage, and protection and in several other aspects. Okay, let's see what are the difference in terms of guarantees between Indonesian workers and non-procedural Indonesian workers. Usually, Indonesian citizens who will work as Indonesian workers abroad according to exciting procedures, they will get guarantees in the form of protection, namely protection before work, during work, and protection after work. This is of course following the applicable legal basis and is explained in detail in Law Number 18 of 2017 concerning the protection of migrant workers. The protection obtained by Indonesian workers before leaving for the destination country is guarantee of safety for a safe and healthy work environment and security upon departure to the destination country and the return of Indonesian workers when returning to Indonesia and facilities to the area of origin. Meanwhile, Indonesian workers who register through illegal channels will not get guaranteed legal or social protection. In addition, the security and safety obtained are not guaranteed because the reason when making a resident permit and making a passport is different from the original purpose of going abroad, namely to work. Usually the reason used are umroh, tourism, or family visit. All of these things cause non-procedural Indonesian workers to be unable to report the problems they face to the Indonesian representative where the non-procedural Indonesian workers are located. Usually, Indonesian workers are paid according to the standards applicable in the destination country, get overtime pay for work outside of working hours, and paid vacations. The most important thing is that Indonesian workers can work under the work contract that has been approved and signed by Indonesian workers and the place that provides the work. However, following applicable Indonesian regulation and the minimum wage that has been determined and because of the absence of a work contract. The next reason and explanation will be continued by Nova.
Okay, the last reasons why non-procedural Indonesian migrants workers should be prevented because it is not in accordance with applicable law in Indonesia. Based on government regulation number 4 of 2013 concerning about Indonesian workers. Becoming a non-procedural Indonesian worker is certainly not justified because it contradicts with the government regulation number 4 of 2013 that is concerning about that. This regulation explains that Indonesian workers are every Indonesian citizens who meets the requirements as job seekers who will work abroad and are registered with the agency responsible for the field of employment. Referring to this, of course, non-procedural Indonesian workers are contradictory because they are not carried out through existing procedures. Of course, this does not meet the requirement of Indonesian workers. Therefore, it is very important in our opinion to prevent these non-procedural Indonesian workers. The next reason, because it is prone to become victims of international crimes like human trafficking and people smuggling. Based on sulbar kemenkumham.go.id, it is stated that often Indonesian citizens who work abroad become victims of the crime of human trafficking or people smuggling. They are become victims with the various methods, one of which is by making them as non-procedural Indonesian worker through various motives such as umroh, special hajj, internship, special job fairs, and family visit. And based on BBC News, in 2019, the police of the Republic of Indonesia managed to arrest 8 people who were suspected of being involved in case of alleged trafficking and the smuggling of around 1,200 people to countries in the Middle East as non-procedural Indonesian workers. From this, we can see that there are many non-procedural Indonesian workers who are become victims of human trafficking and people smuggling. For this reason, it is important in our opinion to prevent this non-procedural Indonesian worker. To sum up, then, the main aspect of this is being non-procedural Indonesian migrants worker has many bad effects, such as reducing foreign exchange and government revenues. There are no guarantees for the perpetrators for their safety, protection, and guarantee of salary, not in accordance with applicable law in Indonesia, and it is prone to becoming a victim of international crimes like human trafficking and people smuggling. So, based on this reason, and it is also the responsibility of the government to protect its citizens, in our group's opinion, it is important to prevent non-procedural Indonesian migrants workers. Okay, next will be closed by Josia Eka.
I think that's all from our group. Thank you for your attention and good morning.